My beloved child, imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning and someone who has never met you already knows what time you sleep, what makes you smile, what kind of videos make you stop scrolling, what food catches your attention, what words make you curious, and even what mood you're in before you realize it yourself. Sounds impossible, right? Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because today, a lawyer is opening a door most people never even realize exists. And once you see what's behind it, you may never look at your screen the same way again. Don't skip. Every second matters. Right now you might think privacy means hiding passwords, locking your phone, or turning on some settings buried deep in an app. Most people believe privacy works like curtains on a window. Close the curtain, nobody sees inside. Simple. Safe. Finished. But what if I told you privacy today does not work like curtains at all? What if it works more like tiny footprints behind you, footprints you never notice because they're invisible? Here's the strange part. You don't leave just one footprint. You leave thousands. Every single day. Tiny pieces. Tiny signals. Tiny clues. And alone, each clue looks harmless. But together? Together they create something powerful. Something almost unbelievable. A lawyer once explained it like this: imagine someone receives only random puzzle pieces from your life. One piece says you usually open your phone at 7:13 in the morning. Another says you pause on travel videos longer than average. Another says you searched for shoes 3 weeks ago. Another says you watch videos late at night. Harmless pieces, right? But then the puzzle begins connecting itself. Suddenly the picture becomes clearer. Suddenly it becomes you. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because something huge is waiting for you. Now I want you to think carefully. Have you ever spoken about something and then suddenly noticed videos, products, or recommendations appearing later? Immediately people say, "My phone must be listening." And that thought sends chills through millions of people. But here's where things become much stranger. Because the reality may be even more surprising than that. Imagine standing outside someone's house every day for 6 months. You never enter. You never hear conversations. You never look through windows. But you notice when lights turn on. You notice when food arrives. You notice who visits. You notice when they leave. Day after day. Week after week. Month after month. Eventually, without hearing a single word, you know almost everything. Now replace the house with your digital life. Replace the street with apps, clicks, pauses, searches, patterns. Suddenly it doesn't sound impossible anymore, does it? And here's where your heartbeat should slow down for a moment. Because the shocking part isn't that information exists. The shocking part is how small actions create enormous stories. That one extra second you stop on a video. That one tap. That one search. That one moment where your eyes pause. Tiny things. Invisible things. Things you forget instantly. But systems don't forget instantly. Patterns don't disappear instantly. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happens next is where the lawyer revealed something that made the room go completely silent. He said, "People think they're giving away information. They don't realize they're also giving away predictions." Read that again in your mind. Predictions. Because information isn't only about who you were yesterday. Sometimes it's about who you might become tomorrow. And once you understand that, everything changes. Don't skip. You're standing at the edge of something far bigger than you think. A strange truth is standing right in front of you now, and most people walk past it every single day without noticing. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because now the lawyer leaned forward and asked a question so simple that nobody in the room answered immediately. He said, "Do you know what your favorite color is?" People laughed. Of course they knew. Easy question. Then he smiled and asked, "Do you know exactly why it is your favorite color?" Silence. Complete silence. Because suddenly the question became different. Suddenly people started thinking. And that is where things became fascinating. Because many choices we believe are random are not always random at all. Think about your day. Why did you stop on one video but scroll past another? Why did one headline pull your eyes instantly? Why did one image make you curious? Why did one song suddenly feel perfect? Tiny moments. Tiny decisions. Tiny reactions. But now imagine those tiny reactions forming a map. Imagine every click becoming a dot. Every pause becoming a line. Every interest becoming a signal. And slowly, over time, a picture starts appearing. Not a picture of your face. A picture of your habits. A picture of your attention. A picture of your patterns. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Here comes the once-in-a-lifetime revelation that made people sit completely still. The lawyer said something unforgettable. He said, "Human beings think they make choices. But patterns make predictions." Let that sink in. Because imagine someone sees that every Friday night you watch travel videos. Every weekend you search for food places. Every few months you suddenly become interested in fitness. Tiny things, right? But suddenly a system begins connecting dots that you never even knew existed. And then one day, something appears on your screen at the perfect moment. Perfect timing. Perfect topic. Perfect curiosity. And you stop scrolling. You click. Not because someone forced you. Not because someone knew your secrets. But because patterns quietly whispered before you even noticed them yourself. Doesn't that feel strange? Doesn't that feel almost impossible? But wait. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. Because the next thing the lawyer revealed completely changed the room. He said the most valuable thing in the modern world may not be information itself. It may be attention. And when people heard that, nobody moved. There is one sentence you are about to hear that changes everything. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because the lawyer slowly looked around the room and said, "The most powerful thing is not knowing where people are. The most powerful thing is understanding where attention goes." Suddenly nobody was thinking about passwords anymore. Nobody was thinking about screens anymore. Because now this felt personal. Think about it. Attention is invisible. You cannot hold it in your hand. You cannot see it floating in the air. Yet every day it quietly decides what catches your eyes, what makes you curious, what makes you stop, and what makes you remember. And here comes the surprising part. Imagine two people walking through the exact same street. Same buildings. Same weather. Same signs. Same world. But one person notices coffee shops while another notices cars. One notices shoes while another notices cameras. Same reality. Different attention. Why? Because the human mind naturally searches for things connected to its interests, emotions, and curiosity. Now imagine tiny signals from your digital world doing something similar. Tiny patterns. Tiny moments. Tiny reactions. Suddenly the lawyer said something that felt like a once-in-a-lifetime revelation. He said, "Your attention quietly writes a story before you realize a story is being written. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you." Because now imagine opening your screen tomorrow and seeing something that feels strangely perfect for you. Maybe it catches your curiosity instantly. Maybe it feels random. Maybe it feels like coincidence. But now your mind starts asking a different question. Was it random? Or did tiny pieces connect together long before that moment arrived? And this is where the room became completely silent. Because people suddenly realized something. Every day they believed they were only watching the screen, but sometimes the screen was also learning what they watched. Tiny pauses. Tiny interests. Tiny signals. Invisible things becoming visible patterns. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Because what the lawyer revealed next was the part nobody expected at all. And when he said it, people immediately looked at their own phones differently. One final door is opening now. And what is behind it may stay in your mind long after this video ends. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because the lawyer finally revealed the thought that changed the entire atmosphere in the room. He said, "Most people think privacy disappears in one big moment. But sometimes it changes through thousands of tiny moments nobody notices." And suddenly everyone stopped moving. Because now people weren't thinking about technology anymore. They were thinking about themselves. Think carefully. A single drop of water looks small. Harmless. Forgettable. But drop after drop after drop can slowly fill an entire ocean. Tiny moments work exactly the same way. One click feels small. One pause feels small. One search feels small. One interest feels small. But now imagine years of tiny moments standing side by side like puzzle pieces waiting quietly in the dark. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because here comes the revelation nobody expected. The lawyer smiled and said, "The biggest mystery was never who knows information. The biggest mystery was whether people understood the value of their own attention." And suddenly the entire conversation flipped upside down. Because this was no longer about screens. This was no longer about apps. This was about something much deeper. Attention. Focus. Curiosity. The invisible things that quietly shape every day of our lives. Now imagine waking up tomorrow morning and looking at your phone differently. Looking at your screen differently. Looking at your choices differently. Not with fear. Not with confusion. But with awareness. Because awareness changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, the biggest secret was never hidden somewhere far away. Maybe it was sitting in your hand this whole time. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because in the final part, the lawyer reveals the sentence that nobody in the room forgot, the sentence people kept repeating even after they walked away, and once you hear it, you may never see privacy the same way again. The room became completely silent at that moment, because now the final sentence had arrived. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because what the lawyer said next felt simple for a few seconds, and then suddenly felt enormous. He looked around and said, privacy was never only about hiding things. Privacy was also about understanding the value of the things you reveal without noticing. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Because suddenly people started replaying their own lives inside their minds. Tiny moments. Tiny habits. Tiny choices. The things people never pay attention to. And then the lawyer continued. He said, imagine holding a book in your hands. Everyone pictured it. A normal book. Ordinary pages. Ordinary words. But then he asked, what if every single day, one invisible sentence quietly wrote itself onto the next page? Day after day. Month after month. Year after year. At first nothing seems different. One sentence means nothing. 2 sentences mean nothing. 10 sentences mean nothing. But then one day you turn around and realize the pages are full. Suddenly the story exists. Suddenly the pattern exists. Suddenly the picture exists. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because here comes the once-in-a-lifetime realization that changed everything. The lawyer smiled and said, the future belongs to people who understand what deserves their attention. Think about that for a second. Because attention quietly becomes focus. Focus quietly becomes habits. Habits quietly become direction. Direction quietly becomes life. And suddenly this entire journey was no longer about phones. It was no longer about screens. It was no longer about settings. It became something much bigger. Awareness. Understanding. Choice. Because the most powerful thing you own may not be hidden in your pocket. It may not be your screen. It may not be your account. It may be the ability to decide what receives your attention. And now, as this story closes, I want you to think carefully about one final question. Tomorrow, when you unlock your screen, will you simply look at it, or will you finally see it? Stay till the end. Something huge was waiting for you. And now, you found it. A final echo remained in the room after everyone thought the story had ended, and strangely, it became the part people remembered the most. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because just when everyone believed there was nothing left to hear, the lawyer slowly stood up and asked one last question. He said, "What if the greatest mystery was never technology at all?" People looked confused. They had spent all this time thinking about privacy, screens, patterns, and invisible signals. So what could possibly be bigger than that? Then he answered his own question. He said, "The greatest mystery has always been human attention." Suddenly the room felt different again. Because think about this. Every day thousands of things compete for your eyes. Thousands of headlines. Thousands of sounds. Thousands of messages. Thousands of distractions moving around you like waves in an ocean. But only a few things stop you completely. Only a few things make your mind whisper, "Wait, look at this." And that tiny moment changes everything. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because here comes the revelation people carried with them long after they walked away. The lawyer said, "Whatever receives attention begins receiving energy." Think about that. The things you notice grow larger in your world. The things you return to become familiar. The things you focus on slowly become part of your reality. Suddenly people were no longer thinking about devices. They were thinking about themselves. Their choices. Their focus. Their time. Because this entire journey secretly led to one destination nobody expected. The question was never simply who tracks information. The deeper question became, where are you placing the most valuable thing you own every single day? And now, before this story disappears into memory, I want you to hold one final thought inside your mind. Tomorrow, when you open your screen and the world starts calling for your attention, pause for 1 second, because maybe the biggest secret was never hidden behind the screen at all. Maybe the biggest secret was the person looking at it. Stay till the end. Something huge was waiting for you. And now the story finally closes, but the question remains. One unexpected truth was still left hidden in the shadows, and almost nobody saw it coming. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Don't skip. Because even after the lawyer finished speaking, one person in the room raised a hand and asked a simple question. If all of this is true, then what is the biggest thing people misunderstand? The room became silent again. Everyone waited. Everyone stared. Then the lawyer smiled and gave an answer nobody expected. He said, "People believe privacy is only about secrets." For a moment people looked confused. Then he continued. "But think about this. You close your curtains at night not because you are hiding something mysterious. You close them because personal space has value." Suddenly everything changed. Because now people understood something deeper. Privacy was never only about hiding. It was also about choice. The choice to decide what you share, when you share it, and how you share it. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because here comes the moment that made people completely freeze. The lawyer looked around and said, "The rarest thing in today's world may not be information. The rarest thing may be undivided attention." Imagine that. A world filled with endless sounds, endless movement, endless scrolling, endless distractions, and inside all of it, attention quietly becomes treasure. Suddenly people remembered every moment they opened their phones for one reason and ended up somewhere completely different. 5 minutes becoming 20. 20 becoming 40. One click becoming many clicks. One pause becoming a journey. Tiny moments. Tiny paths. Tiny decisions. And suddenly the lawyer said the sentence people repeated again and again after they left the room. Whatever controls your attention slowly influences your direction. Silence. Complete silence. Because those words did not feel like information anymore. They felt like a mirror. And now, before this story finally fades away, I want you to think carefully about something. Tomorrow morning, when light enters your room and your screen lights up for the first time, ask yourself one question: am I choosing where my attention goes, or is my attention choosing me? Stay till the end. Something huge was waiting for you. And now, you are looking directly at it.